My name is Rhonda Dove, and this is my handsome husband.
Andrew, how you guys doing?
And we are 30 till forever.
Yes.
Coming to you live on this Tuesday evening.
Yeah. It's funny that we got the show topic this evening. Are you a team player? And we everything we do is by trial and error.
Everything.
And because we putting our focus on being a team player. A lot of us in our relationships, we struggle being a team player.
Yeah.
Because either you've been conditioned or you're so used to doing things on your own, and I can do it by myself and I don't need any help, and because you don't need any help, you don't offer any help to your whoever you're in your relationship with, then you're struggling because things aren't getting done.
And then you tend to get stressed, and that stress always rolls over into forms of anger, and you don't want that to happen.
Right, and because I tell you, a lot of ladies aren't like this. Some of you ladies might be. I came home from my lunch break, and my wife was cutting the backyard because she knew that I'm very busy, and because I have to do things systematically to make sure stuff gets done. So I had my checklist of stuff that I had to get done today that was really important. So and cutting the backyard was one of them. Because I had to get that done to get something else done while I was doing something else at the same time.
He was virtually going to be ping-ponging around everything, trying to get everything done by himself.
So I came home from my lunch break, and lo and behold, she's cutting the backyard. Well, she was finished. She had just finished the backyard.
I wanted to surprise you.
So, which freed me up from getting something else done. And then my son-in-laws, they
went on out there.
They did something to help me out too, something else that I had to get done. So it all happened that way,
And it's because you have to incorporate everyone when you are trying to run a family, and when you are with anything that you're doing. We can't do things by ourselves all the time.
Right.
Sometimes we just have to ask for help.
Right.
And even though we feel like we can do everything on our own, a lot of the times we don't know how many people will say, "Okay, I got this. I'll help you." Unless we ask. Baby, my battery's dead.
Is it dead on this?
It's right here anyway.
But, and it just brought us to the question about, how many of us are really, it is dead, how many of us are really team players in our relationships? When you see something that has to be done or needs to be done, and you just jump in and do it, no questions asked, not looking for anything else in return. Because some people say, well, if I did this, then you need to do this.
And that's the sad part about it is you always looking tit for tat, and relationships don't work tit for tat.
No,
they just don't. You have to work together, and together is not a tit for tat thing. You just do what you're supposed to do and just
because you remember the Tyler Perry movie? I don't know which one it is. They were talking about the 80-20 rule.
Yeah,
that rule is so true, because sometimes you're giving 80%, and then the other, and your partner's giving 20%. But then there's other times where you're giving 20% and your partner's giving 80%, and that's the great thing about teamwork.
Well, that 80-20 rule is standing for something else, but go ahead.
But I'm just saying it applies. It applies to so many other things in relationships.
So many other things.
And. And guys, listen, you have got to really put your focus on being a team player.
Yes.
A lot of people aren't team players in their relationships. And like my wife said earlier, sometimes it causes frustration and it causes conflict when you're not a team player.
See.
So find ways to be to where you guys can coincide, to be on the same team, on the same sheet of music, or the same scorecard, or something that allows y'all to work cohesively together.
I can give you a prime example of things that's going on in our lives right now. A lot of you guys know that I am a licensed cosmetologist and I have my own business. Well, my business is not growing the way that I wanted it to grow because I'm trying to do everything myself. Well, my two daughters also have their own businesses. and we decided to come together as a team to see what we can do to help each other out in order to make our businesses grow. So today, we in this very room had our first official family team meeting in order to help everyone begin to grow so that we can get our businesses up off the ground. But it's the difference in us coming together collectively and me trying to do everything by myself, because I stand in my own way. I'll admit that any day, because I have a fear of failure. But I also know that you can't grow unless you take a chance sometimes and be willing to fail. Well, today they got all my business papers and everything lined up the way that it's supposed to be, and pushed me to do that extra step. Without them encouraging me and pushing me, I may not have been able to step out and go to that next step. So I appreciate that. But as a team, we're going to make all these things work. But if I kept trying to do it by myself, my business would stay stagnant. So with that being said, also in your family, if you're playing football, I don't know how to use that analogy. I was going to try to use the analogy.
Football, I'm like,
but I was going to say, I don't know how to use that analogy. But I know that the quarterback cannot win the whole game by himself. He can't throw the ball down to the field goal. It's called a field goal, right? He can't throw the
touchdown.
He can't throw it's a goal.
It's a touchdown.
Okay, but he can't throw it from one end of the football field to the other end of the football field, run down there and catch the ball and make a touchdown.
Right.
So he can't do it by himself. Just like in a relationship, you cannot do everything by yourself. You have a household, you have a family, you need to work together. And if you cannot work together, something is going to go lacking.
Right. And don't define roles within your relationship. Don't define this is specifically a woman's job or this is specifically a man's job. And because I know some people who, that's woman's work, I'm not going to do that. It won't kill a guy to pick up a broom or a dustpan or vacuum cleaner
dishes
or wash clothes.
Exactly.
My mom raised me to where I would never ever have to depend on a woman to do anything for me. That I would be able to be self-sufficient by myself.
Thank you,
if I did not have a wife or a woman to do my laundry or do my cleaning
or
cook
do his meals
or cook my meals, my mom made sure I was well taken care of in that area. Now, but those things that we don't need to, like I said, we don't need to define those roles.
No, don't define roles. If he can take out garbage and the garbage needs to be taken out and he's not there, I'm not going to let the garbage pile up to the side of the refrigerator or pile up under the sink, wherever you keep your garbage can. I'm going to get that garbage and I'm going to take it out. If the garbage needs to be taken, it might hurt me to take it down the hill to the curb, but if he's not here and he's not able, then that's something that needs to be done as a team player, as us being partners in this thing.
Yeah, there have been times where I've forgotten to take the dumpster out to the street.
And boy, 7 o'clock in the morning.
You hear that man coming up the street.
Cricking on down there to take that dumpster to the curb. But the thing is that working together, I don't mind doing anything that I have to do in order to make sure that our household runs right.
Right. So, don't define roles, but work as a team to make sure your overall goals get accomplished.
Right.
Just don't say, well, you're responsible for this and you're responsible for that and you're responsible for this and I'm responsible for that. That doesn't work. It might work for some for just any particular amount of time,
for us.
But
ever.
It might not work for long term. It might do short term to get you by.
Yeah,
but start thinking long term when it comes to those kind of things.
Or just say, like, even if you have daughters and you are a guy, like when I was pregnant, I was getting ready to give birth to child number 2, husband had to comb child number 1's hair and get child number 1 ready to be able to come and get me at the hospital. He didn't do a good job, but at least he tried.
Oh, Lord.
He did try.
Ooh,
but the thing is that
away.
You still have to be willing to try to put in the effort. At least he tried. But if you have someone who don't even try, if the kids need their bath and you don't try to get their bath done, are you going to wait for the mama to come home from work so that she can cook the dinner and bathe the kids, then sex you up, and then everybody get ready to go to bed? No.
Some men might want to expect that. I'll tell you, I always go back to this when I got out of the military and I wasn't working a secular job at the time. Right when I got out, my wife still had her job, And she was going to work, and mind you, our bills didn't add up to anything at the time.
Nah, at the time we really
and we had money in the bank, and we were fine financially. But when she went to work, I took care of the kids. I made sure the house was clean. I made sure dinner was cooked, and I made sure she had a bath drawn with candles and everything every single night.
Every single night.
And she didn't have to do anything when she walked in the door.
Nope.
Now, I couldn't do the kids' hair, but that was the only thing that she had to do, was to make sure that the girl's hair was done. But other than that, she didn't have anything else to do. And I prided myself in that was my part of the team effort to make sure that our household stayed running. But she cut that short, because I was happy being Mr. Mom. And she was like, I can't have a man sitting in my house. But
the thing is, it just was something that rubbed me the wrong way. If I'm out working, I need my man out working too. And I wish that was not ingrained in me, because I know that even if that was to happen today and I made enough money to take care of everything, I would still be like,
I would be happy to stay at home.
I don't care if you stay, but you got to do something to help this boat
work in the yard.
It's just weird. Yeah. I mean, but in some relationships that work for a lot of people, and my psyche, it just does not work in my psyche for my man not to work and I'm working. And I wish it did. It just don't. But and then you could also say it's a double standard type of thing, because he has been going out working secularly in the world, and I have been I've had my own business, so I've been bringing in money, not the kind of money that he brings in, but I've been doing good, and it's still kind of the same thing, because on those days where he's out working and he'd be like, oh, babe, I'm so tired, and then I'd be like, and then he'd be like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm in the bed.
Yeah.
I wish I could be in the bed too.
Exactly.
So I mean, but as a team though, our team works at the fact that he is working. I take my clients when I can. Because of COVID-19 and my illness, I'm very limited on what I can do. But right now, COVID-19 is put a halt to everything pretty much. Yeah. So, but you have to be willing to work at a team, and if you have to reformat things because of times such as this, then you just have to sit down together and reformat it and think about the things that you can do together to make it work.
And find out what works good for your relationship.
Right.
Try communicating with your spouse.
Communication.
Just say, I don't call her and ask her, hey baby, is dinner ready? I don't think, I don't do that. Because some people like, I want my dinner done and blah, 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 blah. And she'll tell you at 5 o'clock, I'm starving. I'm ready to eat at 5. And
his dinner's not always ready when you come home.
And a lot of times, I have to come home and I cook. But I don't complain about it, because number one, I love cooking.
He loves cooking.
And
I don't.
And number two, if she's been doing other stuff all day, then that's my part to contribute as well.
And don't get me wrong, I do feel bad about it a lot of times when he comes home and he's hungry, and by the time he walks through the door, I have just sat down a lot of the times from doing other stuff around the house. But a task that would take someone 15 minutes to do might take me a couple of hours to do.
Right.
I'm not happy about that.
So that's what I'm saying. You find out what works for you, and because I know that things are like that with my wife. Something simple might take 15 minutes, might take 30 minutes to an hour. Well, I take that into consideration throughout the day, and because of that, I don't mind coming in the house and say, hey, well, let me cook, well, let me do this, and let me do that,
right?
And I'll try to fit it into my list of stuff that I need to get done for that day when I get home. But our main focus for tonight is to encourage you guys to work
together.
Work as a team. Conquer all your goals. I should say accomplish all your goals as a team. Get a game plan together and say, this is how our house is going to operate, and stick to the plan. Roll with it. And then if something needs to be adjusted along the way. Absolutely. Don't just let it go. Just don't let it fail, or you got struggle in the area. You make it
the adjustments,
make
the
adjustments.
changes needed, and then keep it rolling. And
Yeah.
the thing is that a lot of people will say that they did not see this coming, but you see things coming. When one or the other spouse is starting to get frustrated with the way things are being handled around the house, you see the frustrations coming. Nothing is just gonna just roll up on you like a tumbleweed out of nowhere or whatever, or a hurricane or tornado. Is that the right analogy? Or a tornado would just drop out of the sky. There are warnings, just like there are warnings for tornadoes. Are they telling you that something is going to happen? You see the winds blowing, and you see the clouds coming, and you see the rain coming, and you still just stand there, and then all of a sudden you're blown away. So when you see the frustration coming, and you see that that there's unhappiness on one side or the other side, you did not just get hit with it. So you have to take everything into consideration. Try to pull all of your assets together. Take your strong suits and his strong suits, and y'all put those strong suits together and see how y'all can make that wall stand firm and have a steady running, happy household.
See, we've been together for a very long time. And when I say you have to make adjustments, we've been together for over 30 years. And recently, over the last, I guess 8 months, 9 months maybe. I was extremely tired. I was at burnout mode. My mind was fried. Physically, I was tired. All I could do was to muster up energy when I got home from work was just to come home and sit on the couch just so I could just breathe for a moment. And I looked at my wife and I said, I need help. And she was like, huh? I said, babe, I need some help. I just can't. I need help right now. I don't feel I can go any further. Mm-hmm. And she looked at me and she made adjustments. And that's what we're talking about. You make adjustments, but you have got to communicate with each other when something might be seemingly overwhelming in your relationship.
Absolutely.
So, because at the time, I felt like, my job, I was working over 12 hours a day on my job. Then I had the church stuff, and that was stressing me out. My job was stressing me out. And then financially, that was stressing me out. So I'm like, and I know my wife, she can't have the stress. So that was stressing me out. so I just had enough.
Yeah.
And I quite honestly, I don't know how much further I could have gone along. And so I had to communicate with my wife, babe, I need some help.
The main thing is keeping your lines of communication open.
Yep.
You have to let one know what the other needs at all times. Nobody is a mind reader. So if you're unhappy with something, or you feel like that you need help with something, you have to tell your spouse.
You got to talk about it.
I need your help. I need you to take this over for a little while. You don't have to take it over forever. But the only way it's going to work is if you are communicating openly and honestly. And a lot of people have a fear of open, honest communication in relationships because they don't either want to hurt the other person's feelings, or they don't want to offend the other person, or they just feel like they got this. But if you do not communicate, no matter what it is, truthfully, then you're gonna have issues down the line somewhere.
Yep.
And that's just the way it is.
Yep. So in order to nip these things in the bud from the beginning, define your roles, figure out what works for you.
What works for you.
Communicate when something's not working.
Absolutely, communicate.
And make adjustments.
And always be willing to make adjustments.
So if you do those things, then I swear things will go so much more smoother with you being a team player within your relationship.
And just remember to stay honest about it. If something is too much for you to bear, then talk to your spouse and ask them if that's something that they can take over. Because if you can't do it, you just can't do it. I'm one that hates being the one that said, I can't do this. I like being Superwoman and doing everything. But the fact of the matter is that I can't do everything. So when things is running too much for me to do, I have to pass the ball over to him and ask him if he can do it.
Yeah, it is okay. I like it. See, that's basketball analogy. Look at you, pass the ball. How about that? It is, it is okay for you to pass the ball.
Yes.
You don't have to hit the game-winning shot every single time in your
Hey
relationship.
Tony, hey Jamila.
You can always pass the
Pass the ball.
and allow your teammate, your partner to
Slam dunk.
Look at you. To be able to make it happen in your relationship.
Absolutely.
So guys, listen. We can't stress enough how important it is for you to be a team player within the concepts of your relationships.
And the things that's going on in your house. Remember, you are not Superwoman and he's not Superman, and nobody can do it by themselves.
Right.
You have to work together.
Yep.
And in order to work together, I can't stress this enough, and we say it almost every single time we come on here. Communicate. Have to.
You got to.
So.
In order for your relationship to work, you have to.
You look tired.
Do I?
You do.
I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
Somebody calling you.
Your daughter's trying to call in.
Anyway, go live with
Christy.
But
I apologize for that. My baby girl is trying to call me on Instagram video chat. I'll have to get back to her in just a second.
Yeah. But guys, listen. Dang, she won't hang up.
It don't hang up like that.
There she go. All right, cool.
Go, keep talking, baby.
I don't know, man. That just messed me up. All that ringing.
No, it's just the thing is that as long as you learn to communicate, because people who do not communicate within their relationship, and if one person is dependent upon for every single thing, the other person is going to, the person's everything being dumped on is going to find it very hard to deal with. And it's just like, my husband did not ask me to cut the grass today, and he knows how my body works. So I am going to pay for cutting the grass today, later tonight, because my body will shut down and my joints will start locking up, and I start getting these really bad.
I'm going to pay you for cutting the grass later.
Shut up. You make me so sick. But my body will start locking up, and my joints and the pains and the cramps will come. And I already know that. So I'm doing massages and stuff, and I will put my compression boots on to try to stop that before it happens. But she's so silly. But I knew that he had a lot to do, and I knew that we had to go and vote, and we had to do the show tonight. And he has to go out there and scrub the walls of the swimming pool before the sun goes down in a few minutes. He got to go out there and scrub the walls of the swimming pool. That's why my sons-in-laws got out there and they pulled the steps out of the pool, because I can't get in that pool without the steps. But the whole thing is that I knew that this had to be done, so I went ahead and I did it. Not a problem. Because knowing that things need to be done and just not doing them and just letting it just rest for the other person to come and do, that's not being a good team player either. That's just like, if I know that the locker room needs to be cleaned, that would be the locker room.
You don't have to keep using sports.
But I'm just saying, these are different things, because as a team, these are just team analogies. And as a team, you have to work together. And we are a team for everything. That child of mine. Mm-hmm. Okay, your turn.
No, but I was very appreciative, and I let her know that because you did this, it really freed me up to do some other things. And
you're gonna pay me later.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay you later. but it really allowed me to say, all right, this is off my plate now, so I can really put my focus on this other thing.
Took some stuff off your plate today,
yeah.
So that was
because quite frankly, I was thinking, I kept thinking, man, show gotta get how am I gonna get it all done before the sun goes down? Because I'm really on a strict schedule for the rest of this week for stuff to get done. Mm-hmm. And if you have somebody who's on your team, they will pick up the slack when you're lacking.
Absolutely.
And I wasn't lacking because I had the plan. I was gonna get it done, but it really helped that you stepped in and doing everything else that you had to do around the house as well. So please don't do that. I'm sorry, y'all. because we had to go off the air. Cause you looking at me funny.
Okay.
It ain't funny, but that's that love look.
It was not. Oh.
That was that I want you look. Y'all gotta excuse us. I mean, what you see is what you get. This is us 24/7.
He nasty.
No, I'm not.
Okay, go.
But anyway, we appreciate you. You ready?
I mean, it was a really quick to the point kind of thing today because it's like in everyday experiences that we have, it's like we are really good team players. And I was like, let's talk about that because some people have relationships and it's always like, I do everything and you need to do this and you need to do that. And if you don't do this, I ain't gonna do it. And it cannot be like that. And I have seen this so many times,
right?
Where it's like tit for tat. If I do this for you, then you got to do this for me. If I do this, then you do this. If I do this, and this, and you want something, the other person to do something for everything, it just do what you need, what you see that needs to be done. That's how it works, and you do it together as a team, and not just wait for the other person to do everything.
Right. You know, I want us to go live when we go camping.
Oh, yeah, that takes a team.
I would love.
We would have to do
next time when we go
Except
camping soon.
Back up. Nope.
That is hilarious.
Nope.
But anyway, I really want to go camping when we go.
When we go on our next camping trip,
yeah,
we'll go live.
I want to go live while we're doing that, and then when let you guys be a part of us when we're traveling down the road.
And arguing.
We don't argue.
We disagree.
Yeah. But and let you guys get a taste of us being out there camping as well. So and just see how it goes because believe it or not, it's really relaxing. So we want to ask you guys to find something that allow you guys to be together and relax together as well,
and really enjoy each other. Because that is, I mean, it means the world to find something that you can do that you can agree upon, that you can. There's a shared experience between you and your spouse. Yes. So
guys, we're getting ready to go. We love you guys. You guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. We'll be going live again next Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here if we don't go live in it. Good God.
And if you think of anything that you would like for us to talk about, please send us some suggestions. You can directly message me at Rhonda Jessie in my DM. Yes, you can come into my DM and suggest something that you would like for us to talk about. Or you can message me or my husband at 32 Forever. Or just him at Andrew Dove on Facebook. And Pastor...
you don't have to worry about Instagram. Just hit me up on Facebook, or on the 32 Forever page, or you can hit my wife up. And
either one.
When you
give us some suggestions, because we don't always have everything to talk about, but we always talking about or arguing about something. We argue a lot.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do. They just be little bitty tiny ones, but we do. We have lively discussions.
I would love for y'all to see a lively discussion between she and I.
Oh, we have had them in front of the camera several times. They just don't get that bad. They don't never get that bad.
No. But that's cool. Well, you guys be good. Y'all have a great rest of your evening. We love y'all. We will see y'all again next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Y'all be good. Bye.
Bye.